Mr. Ong Teng Koon.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I wish to speak in support of the budget. It is vital that we are discussing this budget from a position of strength, with a large surplus. We are unique amongst developed economies. Prudent policies have enabled us to continue to accrue surpluses, even as the economy and the population matures. This gives us vital breathing room to maneuver as future challenges loom. This is especially critical as one megatrend is likely to fundamentally change our world. In the words of Mr. Masayoshi-san of SoftBank, AI is coming, and it is coming big time. And it will combine with robotics and automation to change how we work. AI will change our world. While technology is always creating new jobs and destroying old ones, there is reason to believe that the current phase of development is different. Artificial intelligence is developing at an accelerating pace. With machine learning, computers can teach themselves faster than humans can teach them. Deep Blue, which beat the chess master Garry Kasparov in 1996, was rule-based, and human programmers taught it how to win chess. But in contrast, AlphaGo beat the world champion in Go after teaching itself the game. And then AlphaGo Zero taught itself how to beat AlphaGo in 40 days without using a single data from a single human game. It is clear that the impact of technology on the economy and the labor market will be broader, deeper, and more rapid than previous technological advances. Broad because it will affect many sectors simultaneously. Deep because it will affect many different job functions within each industry. And rapid because the rate of adoption of software or cloud solutions is not hindered by the need for physical rollout. But what will result is not just traditional structural or cyclical unemployment. We will experience a permanent secular shift in the economy, which will change what jobs are available and what skills are in demand. History has shown that technological progress has always led to new jobs and an improvement in our lives in the long run. But all of us are going to be dead in the long run. And in the meantime, the transitional pain is going to be very, very real. Consider an area such as manufacturing. According to the BCG group, jobs will be lost in roles such as machine operator, production planner, while new roles will be created such as data scientist and robot coordinator. But therein lies the challenge. Many of those displaced will struggle to take on new emerging roles. For others, a series of part-time or freelance gigs will become their permanent reality. Let's take a specific example. We have around 75,000 taxi drivers and private hire drivers in Singapore. And the recently emerged private car hire industry has served as a refuge for those who were displaced from other lines of work. And this has allowed them to continue to earn an income. And this has helped to mitigate the pressure of job losses from sectors that has been struggling, such as marine and offshore. However, we are really not far from the day when all cars will be able to drive themselves. And the move towards autonomous vehicles will have a profound impact on the labor force that it displaces. What happens to the drivers then? Is there another industry that can absorb so many job seekers who may not have any specific marketable skills? The gig economy, freelance or part-time work, can help to cushion the impact, but it is not a long-term solution. According to a 2016 study by McKinsey, 30% of gig economy workers were in the gig economy out of necessity. They have no choice, and they're not happy about it. And they are individuals who are trapped in an endless hamster wheel with no hope of advancement. This then becomes very fertile ground for radicalization. We can therefore expect to see a displaced underclass who will struggle to make ends meet. This government has had the foresight to put in place Skills Future and emphasize training and reskilling, and we are leading the world in this area. But we do need to recognize that a large segment of the population will struggle to learn and apply these skills. Out of our 2.2 million labor force, 700,000 are above 50 years old or have less than secondary school education. Many of them will struggle to learn. And when you factor in their families and dependents, the number of people that gets affected gets really, really big. And what do we do for them? This raises vital questions around the whole approach to social spending. Short-term cushioning may not be enough, since we cannot trampoline them back into economic health. So any support will need to be sustained as well. Current trend is towards a broad spread of small subsidies. Is this still the right prioritization going forward? Do we need to consider alternative revenue sources such as a wealth tax? As technology advances, wage will likely fall as a share of GDP. Then it becomes only right that the owners of land and capital bear a greater share of the burden. And what steps are we taking to prepare for this future in terms of fiscal policy and preparing the ground and the electorate for this possibility? And what are we doing to prepare the next generation for this new reality? Our education system has served us well, but can it equip the young for the new challenge? If you believe that things are changing more quickly, then what is needed is not specific knowledge, but imagination and the ability to learn. How do we inculcate the values needed for the future, such as curiosity, imagination, critical thinking, and persistence? Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we may disagree on how many people will be displaced or how quickly, but the advent of artificial intelligence is inevitable and there will be consequences. We cannot be complacent and assume that new jobs will automatically be created. In many cases, AI will supplement and augment our capabilities. There will be many cases where humans will struggle to compete. And we need to ensure that the displaced have meaningful roles that will allow them to retain their dignity. I truly feel that we need to tackle this problem head on and decide as a nation on how to respond. I don't have the answers, but we need to have a serious conversation and not just keep repeating comforting platitudes. And it is imperative that we do this from a position of strength. So now is the time to talk about AI. Mr. Speaker, sir, I support the budget.